Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Uh, this is a new channel, not a new account though, because I've had it for since I can remember. I've always wanted to create content, not just to consume content. I was consuming at that particular time, but now I want to create content because I have content. I have things to share, and I've been preparing this for the last decade. To be honest, it's gonna be great. Trust me, it's gonna be fun. What are we gonna be talking about on this channel? On this channel, I'm gonna give you the context because if I'm gonna create a content, whatever, different contents, I need a context, an overview, somewhere I'm drawing the information from, or somewhere that I'm following, like a structure that I'm following. So in this video, I'm going to introduce you the structure, not the whole structure, the first part of the structure, which is the key fact to all life. Like it's the nature of being. That's the first thing that we're gonna talk about. Because from there you will understand everything that I'll be creating. I'm a creative artist, but I have a background in psychology and theology. I studied theology and psychology, so I have interdisciplinary. But I've always performed. I grew up in church. I grew up as a PK, pastor's kid. Both of my parents, so I've always been in church. So I was playing music. I did whatever, youth, children, just name it, whatever, you know. So um, I'm more inclined on communities, just creating programs for communities, psychosocial development, spiritual growth, physical well-being. It all goes together, and financial freedom. It all goes together. Like life is not separate. So we're gonna talk about that in depth, but I won't beat around the bush. I promise you. I'll be hitting as I say stuff as it is. I was gonna use the S word, but yeah, I say stuff as it is. So let's let's first knock the big elephant in the room. Let's first get rid of the big elephant in the room. So we all know we have problems, questions, and answers, problems and solutions. But where do all problems come from? Where do all solutions come from? Because it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you do. It does not matter. You're gonna face life's hardships. You go even right now. Everyone is going through ups and downs, ups and downs. Why? There's a reason why people try to sell us utopia and feeling wise, euphoria, right? Heaven, you know, oh, good things, oh, now health, whatever, products, whatever, as if there's no negative side of everything. Like literally anything that is positive, it has its own negative. Everything that is negative, it has its own positive. Even negative things, by the way. So negative has positive, positive has negative. So where does that come from? Where do we get that? Because on an individual level, you're trying to find peace, you're trying to find love, you're trying to find harmony, you're trying to find perfection, you're trying to find goodness, good stuff, you know, peace, security, shelter. You're trying to find good stuff, you're trying to make it in life, you're trying to find freedom. But at the same time, you're gonna find the life is gonna find ways to knock you off of your whatever direction you're heading or you're headed to, whatever you want. You're gonna find that whatever you want, you gotta fight for it. Why do I have to fight? Why do I have to maintain it? And if I don't maintain it, I lose it. It's ugly. When it's not physical health, it's mental. And it's not mental, it's spiritual. And it's not spiritual, it's relationships. And it's not relationships, it's national, communal, international, calamities, existential crisis, my friend. So, where does all this thing come from? Now, having a background in theology and philosophy and psychology, actually, and philosophy is the same stuff. These are subjective topics. Subjective, that means internal makeups, like thoughts, emotions, what you say, words actually, they are coming from emotions, imagination. Those are the studies that we go through. But even within your thoughts, within it, there is negative thoughts, positive thoughts, emotions, good ones, bad ones. Imagination, you can imagine crazy stuff and then good stuff. You can talk, bad talk, good talk. Action, reaction can be good or bad. That duality, that dual nature of life is what causes life to be as it is. So people who are looking to go to places where they will never have any problem again, where they will always be, that's not gonna happen. I know, coming from a religious point of view, I understand why people think like that. But once you understand what I'm gonna talk about, you're gonna understand that you're in for a treat. Just like me, just like everyone. There's no exception. There's, man. Yeah, it's. Let me talk about it, right? Straight to the point. What's the nature of reality? What's the nature of God? What's the nature of life? What's the nature of being? This is why this is why you see things as they are. This is why you will understand life totally completely from what you've learned. We don't learn this in school. I never learned this in school. But whatever we learn speaks of this, even though we can't see it with clear sight. Oh wow, I'm in 7 minutes without talking about my apologies. So this is it. Life is self-reflective. Nature or being, I am. God, I am, the great I am, is self-reflective. Consciousness is self-reflective. Plain and simple. I can even stop there. Before 10 minutes in, I'm done. Life is self-reflective. What does that mean? That means there's no any other. In the Bible, when we study the Bible, there's no other than God. God is Alpha and Omega. There is nothing else. He's the beginning and He's the end. He's the one who starts. He is even the process in between. We are created in His own image. He's all in all. This is consciousness permeates, like dwells or is everything. Literally, like we in physics we learn that everything is energy and nothing is lost, nothing is gained. Everything is form and transforms and reforms, and it's exactly that. There's only one thing. Everything that we see, whether from us individuals, people, communities, nations, planets, solar systems, galaxies, universe, multiverse, aliens, unicorns, name it. Whether it's in your imagination, thoughts, anywhere, it is one thing. That's the nature of life. The nature of life is one. But because it's self-reflective, because it knows that it is, that creates duality. That is the only way we understand life. That's the only way we experience life. So this first topic, that nature is self-reflective, that life is self-reflective, we are going to dwell on this thing. I'm gonna hammer this thing home, man. I'm gonna nail this down. so that you can understand it. Of course, for those who want to understand nature as it is, reality as it is, and what to do about it, because it's not. When you go to a doctor, for example, let me give you an example, an easy one. When you go to a doctor, you don't know what's wrong with you, right? But at least you have an idea, like, okay, if I'm sick, if I don't feel well, I don't know why, but at least somebody else knows why. Somebody else might know, and then you go to a doctor. When they figure out your sickness, that's the first step to freedom, to healing, is that they figure out what you have. When they don't figure out what you have, oh my God, it's a plus. On the problem that you had, this is another one that we can't figure out what's wrong with you. But when they can figure out what's wrong with you, they better know what to do about it. If they don't know what to do about it, it's another problem. But when they know what to do about it, then the problem is done. It's the same here. Understanding life, understanding nature as it is, not as you're taught. Books, we read books, man. I read. Okay, I don't read a lot, but you cannot go to school. You cannot finish your whatever masters. Or I didn't do masters. I'm doing a doctorate program. I did masters, by the way, in metaphysics. But if you're doing a master's, you're doing your degrees, you're doing your PhD, there's no way you're gonna go through that without reading a lot actually and writing a lot. So I've read and I don't read a lot, but I listen a lot. So I listen to top professors, top guys. I know these theories, I know, but it doesn't matter if you don't understand it. And most of these guys don't know how to explain life in simple terms. They have crazy terminology. Some of them, I'm an educated guy. I listen to some of these guys and I don't get shit. I don't understand what they're talking about because the terminology is so heavy. Yes, you understand there's one word, you're using a word that represents a whole paragraph, but where you're pressing it, where you're placing it, and the following, and it becomes complex. It becomes complex for a regular normal guy, and I consider myself a regular, chilled normal guy who does not. I didn't like school in the first place, so I studied because, duh, everybody gotta go to school, you know. If I had other ways, otherwise, other options where you can make money, you can, I would have done that. I didn't know there was those ways, by the way, until I finished school, until I was bankrupt by school, by education. But without rambling around, let me go back to the point. When you know, because whatever we go through is existential problems. Like when we grow up, you're asking yourself, who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing here? What am I supposed to do? You know? Why is this? Why is that? Where am I gonna go after this? It's a question you don't ask yourself. Where am I from? You know? Maybe people do nowadays. You know, where I'm from, man. People are just consumed or where they're supposed to go, not where they're from. Because where you're from is where you're going. there's no there's no places, and you will understand this because there's one. There's only God. Everything that we see is a manifestation of God. It's not, oh, now it's you, now it's them, now it's trees. No. Cows, whatever, clouds, whatever, sun. No. There's only God. And God takes all those forms. We're gonna see that. We're gonna see how it comes from that unity into multiplicity. How that oneness is multiple also. So there's unity and multiplicity. Unity, unity, which is the fact that we are on the same planet, right? We are eating from the same planet. We are being energized by one sun, same, and we are in one universe. If it's multi, there's always going to be something that oversees the multiple. Just the way you have different organs and they're in one body. Trillions of cells, they work as one. Same way planets work as one, same way the universe, there is unity. It's a fact. But that unity is expressing itself, is being expressed in multiplicity as multiple. This is not something new. It has been talked about. People say this. It's written in all books. Literally all books. Whatever book you write, you read, you're gonna see unity and multiplicity. If you can't see that, then now you're gonna be seeing it, because now you know after watching this video. There is unity and multiplicity. God is one, but God is all. He's all in all. You're not gonna change those things. I am all in all. You know, I am the great I am. Who are you? I am. I am you who is asking. I am you who is watching. That is what consciousness is. That is what energy is. That is what being is. But because of that self-reflective nature, I am, and I know that I am. If even someone who is in coma, they know they are. They don't know where, they don't know what, they don't know whatever, but just comment in the whatever. Everybody says I was in the dark, but there's I. When you read these holy texts, you will see that through and through, especially in the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita, these Hindu texts, old texts, they explain this very, very well. The Bible does it too. I don't know about Quran. I didn't read Quran that much. I read a little. I hear people talk about it, and I read a little bit. I didn't go deep, but they all believe God is one, right? That's unity. That is unity. So all that is remaining is, how do you harmonize the different aspect of that unity? That's why when you go into community, there's a golden rule. You know, love your neighbor as you love yourself. All right? Why? Because we are one. Go ask military people. You are killing your enemy, right? But you're having PTSD. Why? We are one. You are violating nature. You are violating yourself. You know, it's not like killing is. I'm not saying killing is a sin. No. Sins and whatever. No, I don't talk about. I'm not gonna talk about those things. We can, if you have a question about sin, we can talk about it. But I'm talking about nature of being, because there's only one. If there's only one, even a sin does not make sense. Even mistakes, even whatever, anything, nothing makes regular, normal sense that we are used to, until you see it through multiplicity, because we're trying to harmonize, but if you see it from a unity point of view, God is doing all this. Why is He doing all this? He or she? No, it's not he or she, it's both. Why is life happening like this? It's because it's alone. Life is lonely. Life is alone, man. God is alone. There is nothing else other than God. Imagine being just you by yourself for eternity. Not for eternity, as eternity. That is crazy loneliness and boredom. Of course, there's going to be pleasure, but pleasure, we all know you can't stay in pleasure. Pleasure is defined by pain. You cannot have pleasure without pain. Pleasure is literally defined by pain. You cannot have negative without positive. Gravity without electromagnetism, without, we're going to talk about this in the physics, terms in physics, biology, chemistry, everything that you studied in school, so that you understand this very, very well. So, this is the first video. I don't want it to go beyond 20 minutes, so let me close it here. You watch the next one, because I'm going to continue from there, but I don't want to go beyond 20 minutes. But go home knowing, okay, scroll to other videos knowing that life is self-reflective, nature is self-reflective. There's no you and me, other things. No. That is the multiplicity of unity. And through that, everything is created and recreated. And so I'll see you in the next video. Have fun.